Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff, and I'm here for our daily lectionary readings. It has been a long time since we've engaged with it, and so what a better time than on January 1st to re-engage and enter into our daily lectionary readings. With it being January 1st, it is New Year's Day, and there are 4 readings, just like it would be for a worship service. So let us listen in to our first reading, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 13. For everything there is a season and time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silent and time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. What gain have the workers from the toil? I have seen the business that God has given to everyone to be so busy with. He has made everything suitable for its time. Moreover, he has put a sense of past and future into their minds, yet they cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I know that there is nothing better for them than to be happy and enjoy themselves as long as they live. Moreover, it is God's gift that all should eat and drink and take pleasure in their toil. Our psalm reading comes from Psalm 8. How exalted is your name. O Lord, our sovereign, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouths of babes and infants you have founded a bulwark because of your foes, to silence the enemy of the avenger. When I look at the heavens, the work of the fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established. What are humans that you are mindful of them, mortals that you care for them? Yet you have made them a little lower than God and crowned them with glory and honor. You have given them dominion over the works of your hand. You have put all things under their feet, all sheep and oxen and all the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the sea. Our second reading, Revelations 21, 1 through 6, a new heaven and a new earth. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. As I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them as their God. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eye. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away. And the one who was seated on the throne said, See, I am making all things new. Also he said, Write this, for those words are trustworthy and true. Then he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Our gospel reading today comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 31 through 46. Separation of the sheep and the goats. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will gather before him, and he will separate people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep at his right hand and the goats at his left. Then The king will say to those at his right hand, Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you as a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it when we saw you sick or in prison and visited you? And the king will answer them, Truly I tell you, just as you did to one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it to me. Then he will say to those at his left hand, You are accursed. Depart from me into the eternal fire, prepared for the devils and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not give me clothing. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they also will answer, Lord, when was it that we saw you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not take care of you? Then he will answer them, Truly I tell you, just as you did not do to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into the eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. And here ends our readings for the day.